Well, the confirmation hearings begin tomorrow with one of the ones I'm most excited about. Pete Hegseth is, I hope, going to get right through, but guys like me have to hope. Guys like the coach actually get to vote for it. So let's find out what the skinny is from Capitol Hill. Joining me now, the coach, Tommy Tuberville, senator from the great state of Alabama. Okay, Coach, you have not exactly been shy about your support for Pete Hegseth. Is that support falling on deaf ears? Do you think we're on a gravy train with biscuit wheels here?
Well, I was a little concerned at first, Jesse, to be honest with you. And all we need is Republicans to vote. The Democrats, the far left, woke DEI group's not going to vote for Pete. He might get one. But at the end of the day, it's going to take Republicans. We got to step up and make sure that President Trump gets his staff together. He picked them. He vetted them. If that's who he wants, that's who I want for him. But I've known Pete for a while, and Pete's tomorrow. I spoke this morning with a group of Navy SEALs that are going to march in the morning up to the Capitol on his behalf. He's got tremendous support, and he's got the leadership skills. He knows the military. We don't need a general from the Pentagon. What we need is a drill sergeant, somebody that's going to bring our military back to discipline and sacrifice and all the things that build a great military. Because right now, Obama started this DEI critical race theory, and we've been suffering ever since.
We most certainly have, and I hear it from every veteran friend of mine, every guy I serve with. They tell me they're not telling their kids to join. In fact, they're telling their kids not to join. So if we have 20 years of GWAT veterans telling the most patriotic children to go do something else, the problems Pete Hegseth have to tackle are enormous, aren't they?
Yeah. We have an all-volunteer military, and over half of that military comes from parents that were in the military. And as you just said, these parents now that have left or are leaving, their military position are telling their kids, "No way, Jose, you're not getting involved in this mess." And so I had one kid that his lifelong dream was to go to the military academy, and we get to appoint several each year or nominate, and I had one that was nominated and appointed, and he, after looking through the situation, said there's no way he's going to get involved in this woke agenda that they're pushing. And we need the best and brightest men and women in this country being an all-volunteer army. And right now we're in a tailspin, and our recruiting is way down. The attitude, the morale is just awful, and we live in the most dangerous time ever. So it's a scary situation, and we need a leader like Pete Hegseth at the top.
Coach, can you explain the difference in mentalities on Capitol Hill? Meaning every time Democrat Joe Biden gets into office, it's just really baked into the cake. It's expected that every Democrat will vote for them, but most of the Republicans will do so as well. Well, he gets his guys, and yet that's not ever reciprocated. So why do Republicans continue to vote for the thing the Democrat wants when it's not reciprocated? Why?
Well, because we got people that say they're Republicans and they're not. At the end of the day, Jesse, to make matters pretty simple. I gave a speech on the floor before Christmas, and we did the research, and not one Democrat voted against any of Joe Biden's nominees. Not one. Every one of them. And so they were confirmed. They didn't have to have Republicans, although we did have a lot of Republicans that voted for some of theirs. And I'm in the belief that, hey, if this is what the president wants, as long as they're, we vet them thoroughly. That's who they should get. When I coached, I didn't want somebody telling me what offensive coordinator hire or what offensive line coach. You want to go in there and understand the people are going to be behind you 100% with loyalty, and you can get this built. And what happened to President Trump on his first go around was the deep state pushed a lot of people on him that absolutely were not Donald Trump type of people, nor American people that believed in the future of this country like we do.
Tell me about this men and women's sports bill. I can't believe that's necessary to have a bill like that. That really kind of speaks to how sad of a place we're at. But what is this bill?
Well, the Protection of Women and Girls in Sports Act. And Jesse, this is third time around. I've had 2 votes on it, and neither one of them got the votes. Every Democrat, except for Joe Manchin, voted against me. And first time around, I actually had a couple of Republicans that voted against me. And all this basically says is no biological males in women's sports. No dressing rooms, no showers. If you're biologically that person, I don't care whether you've had a transgender surgery or whatever, you still don't get that opportunity, because there is a difference. And some people, at the end of the day, they believe this nonsense, and we've got to get past all of this.
Coach, 1 week from today, to wrap all this up, is a critically important day for the United States of America and the world. That is the day my Buckeyes will play Notre Dame in the national championship game. But I can't help but lament college sports a little bit. I try not to sound like Grandpa Jesse since I'm only 43, but players, $6 million a year, switching schools every year. Coach, I mean, this is not an improvement, and it's not good.
No, what happened to education back when I was coaching? Just 8 years ago, you had to have a certain amount of your courses going towards your degree, or you lose your eligibility. Well, now eligibility is not even talked about. Nothing's talked about other than players making money. Now, Jesse, I'll tell you this: I've always been for players making money, but I saw where a kid the other day went from one school to another for $8 million for 1 year. Now, eventually that's going to affect everything, and there's going to be donor fatigue too, of this money coming from certain places. But your Buckeyes are good. They're very good. They keep playing the way they're playing. They will win. Notre Dame's got a good football team also. Very impressed with them and how they play. And it should be a good game. And unfortunately, it's the same day as the inauguration. I guess I'm gonna have to watch a replay of it. But I'm looking forward to it. College football is the second most watched item on television after the NFL, and we're trying our best to find a way to screw it up. And we've got to find a way to get back to some kind of common sense and make it amateur sports again. Not that taking money away, but making education first and teaching these kids, make them sign a contract where they've got to stay. And if they leave, they got to pay the penalty. But right now, there's no penalty on the players. They can do whatever and transfer once, twice a year, making a difference. And there's no sense of reality. And again, it's kind of run like the federal government.
Yeah, that sounds awfully familiar. Coach, appreciate you as always. Go back soon. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.